IS-2, I see you. Oh! Russian tracks, man. Best armor. Uh-oh. ATGM. Move, move, move! Whoo! Oh, SCRV, I see you. You're not hiding with that camo. 1200. Boom! Yeah! What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another War Thunder video. In today's video, we're taking a look at the Hori prototype, a Tier 4 Japanese tank destroyer with a battle rating of 6.0. And it's something I've been playing a lot lately. And, well, before we get right into it, I want to just give you a warning, just a heads up. When you buy this, and I do recommend buying this, go into the modifications and make sure everything is installed. A premium vehicle comes with everything unlocked. Mine did, but all of my stuff was uninstalled. It was a bug in the game that happens every once in a while. Probably once every 2 years, maybe, at this point. It's very rare in my experience. My second game, I died because it didn't have fire protection. That's because it wasn't installed. Then, about 19 games in, I thought, I'm not getting as much research as I expected I would be getting. So I look up here, and the talisman portion of it wasn't installed. I clicked that, and all of a sudden, the premium, excuse me, the research points that I'm getting per kill and per action goes up exponentially. So when you buy this, make sure that everything is installed, including the crew replenishment, because it's really stupid when you're almost 20 games in and you're realizing you don't have the talisman portion and you're not getting the benefits of the premium tank. So do yourself a favor and go and check that out before you get too far into it. Because my gosh, I got cheated out of so much RP. Now, as for the tank itself, you will, of course, think of the German Ferdinand. I almost called this the Japanese Ferdinand, because that's kind of what it is. It has weaker armor, it has a weaker gun, and it has a lower battle rating. But I would say that it's pretty similar. Now, one of the weaknesses of this vehicle comes from the long tracks. The wheelbase on this thing is enormous. It's extremely long. It's a lot of links to try to move, and the engine is pretty good. It's nothing incredible. 550 horsepower for this big heavy monster. It's sufficient, but it's what I would call a camping tank because of the poor maneuverability and thin armor on the sides. But we'll get to the thin armor on the sides in just a second. Let's talk about the frontal armor, because this is what the enemy is going to be looking at most of the time. The hull is 75 millimeters. If you're going to shoot at this thing, do not aim for this area. This is angled at 70 degrees. You're going to bounce this almost all day unless you're firing APDS. And even then, you can hit some weird angle up here. A lower plate is pretty easy to hit. 75 millimeters thick. Only an 8-degree slope, that's nothing. The upper hull, 120 millimeters on the outside. Then as you get closer to the gun, the armor gets thicker. Here's 150, now 250. And this is where I'm noticing a lot of people are shooting because of their experience with, say, the FV4202 from the British tech tree, as well as the German Jagdpanther. There's weaknesses closer to the gun you get. And people are just assuming that that's the same with this, when in fact it's quite the opposite. The weaknesses are on the outside of the tank. Now on the side, there really is no armor here. I'm talking about 55 millimeters, yeah, 65 with the doors. On the back, it's only 35, so this is susceptible quite easily to quite a number of SPAA vehicles that have HVAP or some sort of armor-piercing rounds. Also, the top, 35 millimeters on the hatch. Yeah, this is a hatch door thing. It opens actually on these pins here. You notice on the front. This will open up to give the gun better depression. You've got negative 10 degrees of gun depression, so when you put your gun down, the back hatch or this top door will open up a little bit, and you can see inside the crew. Now, in my experience, you can't actually shoot into this thing with the with this door open a little bit. You would think that that would be susceptible to airplane attacks. I haven't found that to be the case. As long as a shell can pen, say, the back or the top, it'll pen regardless of if it's open or not. 50 cals from the American planes have not penetrated the top. It's only been, for me, Russian yaks. Some of them have really punchy guns. So you gotta be careful with that. Now, as far as the crew layout, you got the gunner and loader on the right side, and you'll notice it's kind of on the outside portion. So as long as you can pen 120, you can kill the gunner in the upper hull, or in the superstructure, I should say. Left side, you got commander and loader, so you got two loaders. Down here, you got the driver and a machine gunner. Now, the placement of the tank engine and transmission is a bit of a concern because it's right behind the 75mm plate, which is really not much armor. So you're going to want to put this behind a pile of rubble and hold down a little bit, so that all they can see is the upper plate and the superstructure. But again, the superstructure is not that structurally sound, so 120. Now, the upper hull, it's good, but it's not great. 120 will be penned easily by Soviet T-34-85s and IS-1s. Almost everything that this thing will face at Tier 3 or 4 can pen this thing frontally. It's just a matter of knowing the weak spots. It's about learning the tank, and because the whole prototype is such a fairly rare tank, not very many people are familiar with it. Now, using a camping tank can have some benefits, one of which you can play maps differently. This particular configuration of Port Noble, for example, is not a favorite of mine. I'm on the north side spawn, so I could either go out there and deal with the crazy shooting gallery that is at Charlie, or I can go over here and just kind of snipe at these guys that are always sniping into the spawn, or at least trying to. I'm reasonably safe from my left, but straight on, I'm not that safe because I don't have anything to protect my lower plate from. So I'm just a little bit nervous from this particular situation, or this particular position. I have to be faster than anyone who's directly in front of me, so that's always a concern. There's a T-34-85 who pushes out slightly from my left. He doesn't see me, so I wait for him to complete his turn, popping right in the side. You see, the high explosive filler in this shell is just incredible. I love those engine sounds in the new patch. It sounds incredible right now. Of course, they'll only get the gunner. How is that not hull break? That's my question. I suppose I didn't hit the hull enough. I can just hit the side of the gunner's head or something. I do get a kill assist on him in a minute or two. But after sitting back for a minute, I started getting worried about getting bombed by those planes flying overhead. So I pushed up across the water and find a Sherman. It's a jumbo Sherman, and the shell had no problem penning right through that thing. It doesn't care at all. As a matter of fact, I've rarely found a tank that I could not kill, except for extremely long ranges. Most of the bounces I get are extremely long ranges against odd angles, such as the IS-2 that you saw in the beginning clip of the video. It was odd angles, and then a rare bounce on a T-44 turret because he angled his turret slightly just as I fired. There's really odd angles, and that's mostly because of the lack of a ballistic cap on the shell. It's just a simple APHE shell, and APHE shells are susceptible to bouncing off of angles and rounded corners and all kinds of odd stuff. And a lot of Soviet vehicles is what I'm having trouble with right now. That's predominantly what I'm facing. Germans and Japanese will face against one another. But so far I haven't had too much difficulty dealing with any kind of the Tigers, whether it be the H1s or even the 2Hs. God darn driver. You gotta be very careful with those SPAs, because even though they won't pen you frontally, they can knock out your gun, and then someone else can come around and shoot you. I have had that happen, unfortunately. With the poor mobility that this thing has, you can't really get away. you can't really protect yourself very well. Come here. There we go. I hit him earlier with a shell, and all it did was got his driver, so I had to come around this rubble pile and finish him off. You would think that with that much high explosive filler, 200 grams I believe, that it would one-shot just about everything, but for whatever reason, British tanks are very difficult to kill with one shot. Comets, Avengers, Crusaders, just everything is really difficult. This poor little M24. Wasn't even a contest. Oh my. As much as I like Silk Club and these last guys that are respawning, I think it's time to find another game. That we find a better competitor. This was, after all, meant to take on M6 heavy tanks and M26 Pershings, if, in fact, Japan's mainland ever got invaded by the United States. So, it's on to Abandoned Factory, where we find us against the Americans and a whole bunch of other guys. Nothing showing up here. But here's a super Pershing. Bounce that shot and pow. I don't care about your armor. You can have 2, 3, 4 layers of armor. I will pen you. Teammates in trouble. What do we got here? Little STRV, premium versus premium. I'll take that easy kill. Also, M26. Oh. If the Haswell-E hadn't been there, I would have gotten that easy kill as well. Always an SPA. Always an SPA in the way. You can see the maneuverability here. It isn't that bad. You know, I kind of give it bad marks, but it's not terrible. Just could be better. And I think a lot of War Thunder's map designs are getting closer to what we see in maps like Poland and Eastern Europe, Abandoned Factory, a lot of close quarters matches. Then there's new maps like Fulda. I'm not really sure what to make of Fulda just yet. It seems great at top tier, where you got really fast vehicles. They're able to cover ground really quickly. Not too sure about that map just yet. This tank would work really well on Fulda, I would imagine, because you can snipe at long distances. Now, there's a sniper over here. Not anymore. Oh, nice shot. But it cost him. Thank God I got fire protection enabled. All jokes aside with Gaijin and their bugs and everything, but honestly, that shot though, it shows the survivability of this vehicle. I have not gotten one shot from the front yet. Even from a KV2, like in this instance, or even an IS2, who did the exact same thing, except I think he hit my lower front plate, and I survived that. Sure, I had a nice little repair, but I was able to could continue on with the match and have some more fun with the whole prototype. Now, this is a highlight from a match I was playing with Brian. He and I were chasing this SPA around. I mean, somehow we lost him. We thought he went down here, but then comes a Ferdinand. And I thought it would be fun to include this in today's review, considering everyone calls this the Japanese Ferdinand. I can't pen his superstructure, so I go for the mid-plate corners, which are a weakness on that tank. Remember, it's all about knowing the weak spots of whatever tank you're up against. He unfortunately kills Brian. I thought I set him on fire, but despite hitting his fuel tanks, it didn't set him on fire, so he was able to quickly turn and kill Brian. I did manage one fire. That one, no fire. Again, trying to keep pounding away. There we go, another fire. Fire number 2. And the SPA has managed to flank my left side. If he gets all the way around on my right, I'm dead. Come on, fire number 3. You can do it. Yes! Fuel tank fire. Now where is that little guy? Come on, don't you dare. Kill him again. There we go. Uh-oh.
Our victory is here.
Turn! Turn! Help! Oh, no, don't get my gun. Oh, thank God. No bombs! Oh, criminally. Fire. 30-second repair. No, 43 seconds because everything's broken. Of course, it was bombs. Oh, my. Anyway, I have to give Gaijin credit for getting this tank right as far as the balance. At 6.0, it's just right. I wouldn't have put it any lower, wouldn't have put it any higher. It's perfectly balanced at 6.0. If it at all seems overpowered to you, it's probably because of its rarity. People just aren't familiar with its weak spots yet. Once people get familiar with those weak spots, the vehicle's effectiveness will go down definitely. Much like that of the Ferdinand. And guys, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. And of course, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Take care, guys.